Hello everybody, this is Pastor Sunday here, coming back to you for our usual Saturday live summit. I hope you're ready to be back. Welcome everyone. Who is going to be the first one to comment today? Let's see who that is. Let's see who you are. Ooh, Nasha Christina. Wow, no, Molades, Shotepero, I see one here. Christina Bondar is her name from Greece. Then we have Favor Woman, Rochelle White. You are back at home. The prophecy of the person who said you crash in the airplane, I can't forget it. It seems not to be coming to pass. Sorry for her. Well, maybe she's not a prophet after all. Well, but thank God you are okay. That's what matters. Thank God you are okay. So nice to see you here. Welcome back. And then we have Adeola Disu. I can't wait to see your video coming, Adeola Disu. So, because Ufoma did our own video yesterday, I saw it this morning. It's a beautiful one. So go ahead and do your own. Oh, I see Favor Woman Vivian Taylor have shared the link to everybody. They have shared the link just now. Let's all go and do that. You can actually share to all. So let's go ahead and share this message to all our friends and invite all our friends and contacts. You have the possibility to actually share to all, not just share to. Okay, Mayowa also has shared. 3 people have shared to all. Mayowa is doing it, and yeah, Taylor and Favor. Okay, Benny Gift. Hi, Justin Mayo. How are you doing, Justin Mayo? Let us know how you are doing, so that we'll know if anybody actually contacted you or not. Okay. I hope somebody contacted you. Then we have Yemi Adeyemo, Lara Shomoye. We have Curtis Simpson. We have Phyllis Mick. We have Elizabeth Ali. Galina Kirishenka is here. Nick Cabasso is here. Wow, Nick has a wonderful story. This is the first time I'm seeing you here. Maybe you've been coming, but anyway, you just got to discover me not too long ago. So, well, welcome. Then we have Nkechi Temple, Anastasia McDonald, Ngozi Oluikpe, Olani Yeni, Iyano is here. Ooh, girls, Iyano is here. Then we have Deborah Cole, Idowu Gideon, Dr. Bien Sufficient. Wow, ages. Wow, Dr. Bien Sufficient got a name addition. Dr. Bien Sufficient Jacob. At least she has a reason for it, because the Jacob is the name of her husband, so we can understand that. Oriyomi Jinad is here. Lolasho Ronke, Odafe Anigoro is here. Ekio is here. That's Pastor Solomon. Then you have Mofelola is here. Laulu is here. Jane Monsaka is here. Modupe Ajulo is here. Wow, there's so many. Okay, well, I think I'll just give up on that. Okay, please go ahead and share the message with your friends. Let's go and share the link. As soon as you share the link, we'll be ready to go. I don't know. I'm not sure of this thing. You remember? Can you? Okay, let's show them this book, please. Let me show the book. More this side and lower. Okay, lower a little bit more. Yeah. Do you remember this book? At Advent, do you remember this book? This book here is the last book I released. This is the last book I released, and I'm not sure of something. I don't think that when we released it, we actually gave the link to Amazon, because I myself only got it. We were so busy with HMT and everything. I myself only got the link. We were doing the anniversary, then HMT, and I think the link only came recently. So please have a look. If you don't have the link, let me see what we can do. I think we should put the link, should be out there, but who knows? Let me see if we could put that link back now. Okay, you have the links for Okada and for Skype. Okay. Let's see if we can put that for you. So that's the latest. You have them for Okada as well? Okay. So we're going to put it for Okada and for Okada and for what? And for Amazon. That is if you didn't get it yet. Because on Monday we are releasing another book. We are releasing the next book on Monday. And the next book is, of course, called, Steve Jobs. Anybody has that picture of that one on Steve Jobs?
No.
Steve Jobs. Yeah, that will come on Monday. Make it straight. Yeah. So this Steve Jobs will come on Monday. For those of you who are looking forward, this is talking about raising the next generation of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. So that will be on Monday. But the last one we had has already come out. Okay, you already have the link for how to regain your lost years. But for Steve Jobs, we will have the link on Monday. That will be a pre-order. I think it's going to be $3.99 as well, so about $4 for that one as well also. So we are manufacturing. Christina said you are manufacturing. Yes, I'm manufacturing. We're manufacturing books in their numbers. Can you touch it? It's just the page a little bit. Yeah, we are manufacturing. We're manufacturing books left and right. And this is not the only thing. Those who are coming for my 50th birthday are going to be in the shock of their lives. They are going to be in the shock of their lives. You can't believe what I'm getting ready to do for the 50th birthday. Just make sure that you have some extra dollars in your pocket, because I'm going to shock the world. Maybe I'm going to be the only human being to have done that. I'll probably release 50 books. I wanted to do 25, but maybe it will work out for me to do 50 books on my birthday. That would be something. 50 books on my 50th birthday. So 50-50. That should be something. But I don't know yet. We'll see. So yeah. So. But you will have, if you don't have 50, at least you will have 25 for sure. So, but not for the whole world, We'll just do it for people who will come here, and then we'll be releasing it gradually for people who are out there through the internet. Okay, here we are. When is your birthday celebration, sir? When is my birthday? Well, if you don't know that by now, you might need to become more friendly with Mayowa. There is a lady that is called Mayowa. Maybe she's not been talking about that much. She's been talking more about her daily vlog than the birthday. So I think that's why you missed it. But she will talk about it today, I guess. My birthday is going to be from the 26th of May to the 28th of May. I was born 28th of May. but the celebration would have to be for 3 days because so many kind of categories and groups of people coming. So we've got to divide them into 3 separate groups. So some people will come on the 26th, some will come on the 27th, and some will come on the 28th. But it's going to be, some of us are going to be there every day. So, yep, that's when the birthday is. So if you needed to know that, you got information. And I will see if some of you are planning to come or not. If you don't even know, there's just no way to plan to come. But some know, some really know, only maybe not everybody, but some do know. Well, today is a special day because today is the last day of my series. The series that's almost killed you guys, I suppose. Today is my last day for this series. The series on thinking, on analytical thinking. The series on the art of thinking is the last day today. But it's not the last day, really. It's not going to be the last day, really, but what do I say? It's going to be the last teaching on this topic. You know, what I've been giving you has actually been principles of thinking, principles of analytical thinking. That's what I've been giving you for the past 1 or 2 months. But we actually started by the general topic, with the general topic of the art of thinking. So today is going to be the 9th principle of thinking. But you should also know that apart from the principles of thinking, that there are also still laws of thinking, which will be as long as what we have been doing. So that I don't totally bore you, and I want to give you the pace to go and try out what you already learned. I'm going to stop the teaching on thinking, and we are going to try to convert some of them to books. And from next Saturday, I will probably just be coming to you with different in and out topics. Maybe I'll be doing some of the book reviews because it's just a few Saturdays more before, the birthday. And after the birthday, if we have enough people on Facebook, Kate will be talking to you about that as well. If we have enough people by then, at least 100,000, but it has to be more than that a little bit. So if we have that, then I promise to come back. I promise to come back on daily basis, even though we'll still be having DSA TV that's going on 24 hours. But I might need to come back again like I used to do it before, twice a day. Because people who have come to Ukraine have discovered that there are much more things for Pastor Sunday to give, much more stuff than what you already have. So what you already have really, frankly speaking, can you really believe it? If I'm to tell you the truth, I had an idea of the teachings I wanted to give. Do you know, can you believe it, that for me, everything I've done so far is just preparing for the teachings I wanted to give. I've not really started. All the 500 messages. The only one I would say I did a good job on a little bit was the financial series. Then maybe work and time series. Those are the 2 I would say I've done. And then kingdom series. But all others are just I've not even got into the real, I have 500 topics and we've only done 30. Mm-hmm. So if we are talking about 500, not teachings, but directions, what they got, 500 directions, different directions that we could go into. So we have only done 30 of those directions. So it means I've not started really, because it's not even 10%, right? It's not even 1%. It's more than 1%, but it's not 10%. So you see, we still have a lot to cover. Okay, Oladi says he has been on the Kingdom series for a week now. Yep. Ben Oko is a what? I haven't managed to grab the 500. Yeah, the 500 are actually on. They're actually on YouTube. If you go to the YouTube and look for Sunday Adelaja Official, you'll be able to see a playlist, and you'll see that over 500 messages are already there. Okay, now you have the link from me to the messages there. Okay, NS Ebong, I want to thank you for getting in touch with our sister, Justin Mayo in Germany. Thank you so much for getting in touch. I appreciate that. Okay, if you are ready for today's teaching, or you girls do prefer to talk now before I start the teaching? Okay. Let me invite the girls to tell you a few words before we start, because once I start, we take off. It's going to take a long time to come back.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. I would like to do announcement regarding Facebook. We already have 70,000 subscribers on a Facebook page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. It means we are closer to 100,000 subscribers, which is the number of subscribers we need to start daily live broadcast. For pastor to start live broadcast daily as it was before for 8 months, we need to have 100,000 subscribers. So we miss 30,000 more. We have a strategy how we are getting those subscribers, and but still we need help. We need a lot of hands. So it's not very difficult to help us. You just need to give about 40 minutes, 30 minutes a day to help us to get there. And I have all instructions, and I will give all support if you desire to help. So what you will need to do, you will need just to send out.
So what you will need, what we are in need of is people to help us gather the likes. We already have the likes. But for one person, you have limitation. So maybe you cannot do more than 1,000 or 2,000 a day. So we need as many people, even though we already have over 100,000, but one person, if you do more than that, they block you. So we need as many people as possible who will be available just to gather. Just click, add. You know the way you add people to your friends? Yeah. Just to add like that to my page. But we already have these people potentially in my page, just to add them to my friends. So you need to give at least 1 hour a day for that, maybe 30 minutes a day. If you want to contribute to that, if you want to help, please put, what should I put, like, or what should I write?
Write the word Facebook. If you write the word Facebook, right now, just write FB or Facebook. I will know that you are the person who wants to help, and I will be contacting you through Facebook. Okay, so right now in comments, write Facebook. If you write Facebook in comments, I know that you want to help Pastor, and I will get in touch with you and give all instructions. Okay? Just type Facebook right now, so I know that you want to help. FB or Facebook or FB. All right? So everyone who types FB, I'm going to contact you, and I'm going to give you instructions what needs to be done. You will need to do it daily or for 30 minutes. Maybe 1 hour sometimes, but it's not difficult. Just sending invitations, just clicking the button, send, like this. And we are going to collect like this more 30,000 people. Yeah, so type Facebook, type FB if you are the one to help. Thank you so much. And now I will ask Mayova to come, but before I go, please, share this message also, because there are some people who can join us, and we have just 100 viewers now. We need more people to join and to see this live broadcast. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone who is typing Facebook. We will do it.
Hello everybody, how are you? How are you doing this Saturday? I hope you're okay. So the announcement I've got is the Golden Jubilee. Dr. Sunday Adelaja's 50th birthday is coming up. So thank you so much for the Facebook DSA family. All of you worldwide, I know that you're doing a fantastic job getting ready for his birthday and preparing yourself as great family do. You've been fantastic. So I want to thank you for that, first of all. Secondly, I've asked for suggestions and ideas. The deadline for that is past now, and I haven't received that much suggestions and ideas, but I understand that is because you guys are doing things in your location, wherever you are. So I am still grateful. Secondly, testimonials, messages, what else? Testimony and congratulatory messages. Please keep that coming. I appreciate those who have sent theirs, videos or in text format. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, so much. And then also, I want to thank those who are supporting us, they're helping us, DSA family worldwide that are helping with tasks or projects that we need to do in order to come to make this a great weekend. Thank you so much. I know I've spoken to some of you. I've contacted you by email, messengers, and you guys have been forthcoming with your support. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Right. We still need to continue with this testimonials and congratulatory message. We're going to compile into a book format or in a magazine. So it's a magazine format. It's a Golden Jubilee magazine, and we need you guys to keep sending those messages, sending your videos. The videos obviously will not go into paper, but it would be streamed throughout the Golden Jubilee. And also we have the daily broadcast, special Golden Jubilee daily broadcast, which will start from the 28th. That's exactly 1 month to Dr. Sunday's birthday, from the 28th of April, 28th of April to the 28th of May, which is his actual birthday. He would have a daily live broadcast where you can ask as much questions as you want. This is going to be fun because you can ask any questions. We are coming to you live every single day. The plan is that we're coming to you live for the English speakers at 9 p.m. Ukraine time. So what I'm asking you guys, which I haven't received any, is questions. Send your questions in advance, because the quicker you send your question, the better we can plan that daily broadcast. So send your questions, please, and send it to DSA50, that's DSAFIFTY, @gmail.com. So send your questions to me, please. The team are ready for you with the questions, so send it so that we can start this with great questions to ask Dr. Sunday. You know, in the last few weeks, we've been asking him so many questions, and he's been answering us 100%. We've been having fun with this, and not just fun. We've been enlightened and developed in the way that he answers these questions. So don't forget, please. Send your question now, or start thinking about it and noting them down, and then maybe by the
to have questions if they don't read along.
Okay.
You have to read along.
Okay.
You have the question. After that, you have a lot of questions.
Okay, there's a suggestion here that you need to read his biography, which is titled Olorunwa. I'm actually going to read it too, because so that I can have questions to ask. So we need to read Olorunwa. That would help, because then you have a background information that you can follow up on in terms of asking detailed questions. Did you watch yesterday's questions that we had, session that we had about the wedding dress, and then the names, taking names and marriage name? You know, questions like that are fantastic. You can find out more of that during this 1 month long broadcast. So that's my announcement for now. I will come back if I have any more announcement for you. Thank you so much for listening, and here we go into the session. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll be ready to teach. Announcement and bureaucracies are over. Now we can go to some teaching. Now, you remember we started this journey by talking about the principles of thinking, the principles of analytical thinking. There are 9 of them, 9 principles of thinking, 9 of them, 9 principles of analytical thinking. So many of you said you'd never heard about that before, but now, by now, you should have known a lot by now. So what are those principles? Let me remind you of them. The first principle that we went through, is all reasoning has a purpose. All reasoning has a purpose. So all thinking must have a purpose. Then the second point we went through is all reasoning or all thinking is an attempt to figure out something. So it's called to answer some questions. All thinking is an attempt to answer some questions. That's number 2. Number 3 principle of thinking is all thinking is based on one assumption or the other. Or all thinking is based on some assumptions. So that's the number 3 principle of thinking that we went through. Number 4 principle of thinking that we went through is all reasoning is done from a certain point of view or viewpoint. That all thinking has a certain viewpoint or is done from a certain viewpoint. Then number 5 principle that we looked at is that all reasoning is supposed to be based, or all reasoning must be based on some information or data and evidence. So all reasoning must be based on some information, data, and evidence. Then we spoke about all reasoning being based or expressed by concepts and ideas. All reasoning should be expressed by concepts and ideas. Then the last one we did was about the fact that all reasoning or all thinking is based on inference, or all thinking must have inference or interpretations or conclusions. And today we are going to talk about the final 9th principle of thinking, which is all thinking leads somewhere, or all thinking has implications. All thinking has implications. All thinking has implications and consequences. All thinking has implications and consequences. All thinking has implications and consequences. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to start by talking about the meaning of this point, so that we understand this point that we're talking about. So think through. So what is thinking through implications, or thinking, or thinking bearing in mind implications and consequences? All thinking has implications and consequences. What do we mean by this? This is talking about the fact that implications are claims. First of all, let's give you the definition and meaning of implications. Implications are claims or truths that logically follow from other claims or truth. Or implications are what come out as a result of some thinking or some analysis or some reasoning. So if you are thinking on some truth, the thinking you are engaged in will lead to some implications. If you are deliberating on some claims or assumptions or ideas or concepts, that process that you have engaged yourself in, the process of thinking, will lead to one implication or the other. Now, I said it leads to implication and consequences. I think it is important here for you people to know that there is a slight difference between implications and consequences. I, like many other people, never even knew that there is a difference between implication and consequences. We all use, and general public use, those two words interchangeably. We talk about implications, we talk about consequences, and those things we just look at them as synonyms, which is true. To some extent, they look like synonyms. But since we are talking about thinking, and I want to explain to you the difference. And do you want to tell us the difference? We have a small Einstein here among us.
I'm curious to hear. I'm listening to the difference.
So I thought I should just run it by our Einstein. We have Tammy, who is our Einstein here. He's a brain man. Maybe he could tell us, but he said he's waiting for me to say it. Okay, so there is actually a little bit of difference between implications and consequences. When it comes to thinking, whatever you are doing in your mind, but not in actions, you can only have implications. So thinking only leads to implications, not to consequences. It will eventually lead to consequences, but that is later. But it will, thinking leads, act of thinking or reasoning or all kinds of things like claims, truth, concepts, or things like that, they will lead you to implications. But consequences are what follows after your actions, after you have engaged in one action or the other. Because thinking is not action yet. So thinking attracts implications, while actions attract consequences. I don't know if that is clear enough. No? People are saying, It's so simple. For example, you are thinking bad about your mother. And we know the implication that led to your example last time. Mm-hmm. That is, I'm talking to Kate right now. She says she doesn't know the difference between implication. My explanation is not clear enough for her. So when you're thinking bad about your mom and your anybody, then you begin to have anger, or you begin to have some attitude towards her. So that thinking that you have engaged in is having consequences. It's having implications. So what you have, whatever your thinking has led you to is called implications. For example, let's say you are thinking about pornography, or whatever you are thinking about, but that leads you to implications. But when you actually go and do something bad, let's say you go and slap somebody, then you have consequences. So implication is what you get as a result of thinking and engaging inside you about something. Like Jesus said, if you look at a woman in your eyes or in your heart to do adultery with her, that you committed adultery. So, but that is implication right there, because it makes you unholy and all that. But consequences is when you actually go and do it. You got the difference now? Okay, so what leads to but you don't. This is not for general public. This is just for you, because everybody will still use them interchangeably anyway. So consequences come as a result of actions. Implications come as a result of thought process. But people use them, like I said, interchangeably. But just for you to know the difference, could help you. So Yes, Ewa Adeniji is got it right here. She says, thinking attracts implications, yes, while actions attract consequences. Yes, you got it. So, so implications are connected to your thoughts, whether you see those implications or you don't see those implications. Sometimes we see implications, we don't see implications. So, because implications are not always visible, sometimes we neglect them. We have the tendency to think that nothing happened. But if the reason why I'm teaching about it right now, what I think you should know about it, is because if you are a thinker, if you think deeply, and if you are a critical thinker, then you should know that even though you don't see the implications, but there are always implications, because they are not always immediate, and they are not always visible, and they are not always coming to announce themselves. You might not even know, you might not be able to trace the connection between what you were thinking and the result you got, the implications that came sometimes. But if you are a detailed person, and the reason why I'm teaching you about this, about thinking, is for you to be a detailed person, for you to be an analytical person. But if you are analyzing everything that's happening in your life, you will see that the implications are there. And the implications could be good or bad. And that most implications are actually connected to what you had taught before. So if you see a lot of things that you do today, they are actually coming as a result of what you have thought about before. But with consequences, it's much more easier, because consequences are the things that comes after you have done something. So they are faster, they are quicker, they are more visible, they are more, immediate, they announce themselves more, they are more obvious. So those are the consequences, because they come as a result of some action or the other that you have been engaged in or that you have done. So yeah. So as thinkers, we need to know that thinking leads to something, and that's what Jesus was trying to teach us when he said, when you look at but you didn't do it, you still have implications. When you do it, you have another consequence. You still have another, but still at every level you have some results of what you have done, what you are doing. So it's important for you to think about things that are good and things that are healthy. The reason why this will be good for us is because if you know that all thinking has implications, then you will probably think ahead before you do anything. And before you even think anything, it will help you to be able to guide your mind, control your thoughts, and to create your separate world for your thoughts. To create, to create a prison for your thoughts, to create some restraints. There was time I gave a teaching in the last HMT about restraints. So, if you know about implications, then you want to put restraints in your mind. Those restraints will help you from, what you did. I saw your Kate's broadcast when she spoke about our mind is like brothel. So for our minds not to become that brothel that she was talking about, we need to know that thinking don't just come and go. That when they come with implications. So because there are implications, then you can easily understand why, that's why I must put the restraints and the protection around my mind. But when you actually go and do it, then you have consequences. So let's think about Ewa is talking about implications of thinking good. She said she was thinking good about her late mom, I think her mom is late. So because she was thinking about her and all the good things that are relating to her, so as a result of that, subsequently she went and posted some music. She found a music that talks about the heroics of her mom, in her memory. So celebrating her mom even in death as a result of thinking positively. So those thinking actually brought her to have those results. So positive or negative, but thinking will lead you to one result or the other. Now, let me give you, because TY just wrote, how do you do that? Now, let me give you how you do that. I'm going to give you some ideas on how to apply this principle that we're talking about. So how do you do that? How do you apply this principle that we're talking about? First of all, whenever you are thinking or you're about to think about anything, stop and first of all trace the possible implications of those thoughts. Especially for women. When you are a woman and somebody is treating you very nicely at work, very kind to you and giving you flowers and giving you all that, and you begin to think about that, you tell me what the what the implications will be. You fall in love. You fall in love with the person, you're in trouble. There is one lady in my house right now. I just saw her behaving funny. I said, what's wrong with you? She said, oh, Pastor, I'm in love. I said, how can you be in love? You are in love with who? She said, I can tell you. Somebody here in the house. I said, I thought you are busy working here in this house. How do you have time? I said, when did that happen? She said, nobody knows. But, I think they meet with the guy. A guy somewhere working here as well. And so I said, does the guy know? He said, no. The guy doesn't know anything. No, he doesn't know. I said, so why are you thinking like that? So do you see him as your future husband? She said, no. I said, why? She said, because he's too young for her. She's older than her. So then why are you in love? How come? She said, well, because I saw him so kind and so nice, and I'm thinking about it, and so I lost it. You see, that's what happens. That's what happens. Even though the guy doesn't even know anything at all, and he didn't even do anything specially for her or what. He was just living his own life. And this girl started thinking. It's like a clock. Every second. So she started thinking, every thinking has consequence. All thinking has a consequence. So if that's what you are thinking about, you will do it. And like myself, I stopped watching movies. You know why I stopped watching movies? I'm talking of not documentary movies. I'm talking of general movies like films. I stopped watching since I was 24. And the reason is because when I watch movies, I used to be okay when I was watching it. But once it's over, I begin to remember some funny. I begin to remember some emotional part of it, some emotions and things like that. And those thinkings, I thought they were not dangerous. You wait. Especially when I was a single guy. I was a single guy living alone by myself in a 3-bedroom apartment with a car and an office car with a driver and everything. And each time I watch these things, every temptation I thought I had overcome used to come back. They used to return just by me thinking.
My mom told me that.
Your mom told you that? Okay. Your mom has experience. That's why. Everything I thought God had delivered me from. And I used to fast and pray. And then I traced it. I used to fast and pray that God should deliver me from lust, from this and that, from all these emotional attachments. I pray and fast. Then all the fasting and prayer just disappear after I watch a movie. I just need to watch one movie. And all that person that pray and 30 days or 20 days, all of them just like, I didn't do anything. Everything comes back afresh. Then I discovered that, wait a minute. When I fast and pray, and I still watch this thing, even though I'm fasting and praying, it doesn't go anywhere. But when I don't fast and pray and I don't watch, even though I don't fast and pray, but I don't watch these movies, I don't need to pray and fast too, because there's all the temptations don't come back. Then I got it. Ooh. So you don't fast and pray to overcome this temptation. What you need just to avoid it, that's all. I just say, okay, I get rid of the problem myself. Because I was trying to ask God to come and fix for me what I was creating for myself. I was the one creating the temptation for my own self. But I was thinking it was Satan creating it. Then I was now asking God to come and fix it. When I'm the one who created it with my own eyes. And then I could just fix it with my own eyes too and put it off. So a lot of things that Christians are engaged in are in connection with these things. A lot of things are like this. So a lot of Christians, they are asking God to come and fix some of their problems, but they created it by thinking about it. And they don't think about the fact that thinking has implications. For example, let me give you an example of this principle in the Bible. If you look at Genesis chapter 4, before Cain killed the brother Abel, God came to him and told him that there is a temptation at your door. There is a temptation at your door. There is a problem at your door, just coming at your door right now. If you are not careful, you have to resist it. Don't think about it. Don't accept it. A thought coming to knock. It's knocking at your door. Close the door. Don't touch it. Don't open the door for it. If you do, then it's going to kill you. But he had not done anything. But he already had a thought, you see. So God was telling him, hey, stop the thoughts. Close down. Shoot down the thought. Shut it down. And that's what we're talking about. Because God knew there will be an implication for him entertaining those thoughts of envy concerning his brother, for him to have entertained those thoughts of anger. So those thoughts that were going on in his mind, they were going to lead to some consequence or the other. I mean, you know about the consequence. I mean, you know about the implications. They are going to lead to implication or the other. So they led to an implication. Then the implication they led to is that he actually went and committed murder. And then the murder led to consequence of him being cursed. So because the implication is the possible things or the thing that whatever you are doing might not be immediately visible, but it has, whatever you are thinking might not be immediately visible, but it will definitely have implication, like in the case of Cain. Like for example, when there were a lot of problems in this regard in the book of Kings and Samuel. There was this king Esau or Saul. Is it Esau or Saul? Saul, that was about to kill, that wanted to kill David. He was always having thoughts, and those thoughts were always putting him in problem. The king Esau, or was it Saul? Saul. So he was throwing arrow at David. Why? Because he was afraid. He was thinking in his mind that this guy would take my place because he killed Goliath. Then he was, having thought of his kingdom being overthrown, so he started chasing him away in the caves and all things like that. So consequences of thoughts. I mean, it's not consequences, what they call it. Implications of his thoughts that led to bad actions. And those actions led to consequences. King Saul, right? King Saul. Then then if you look at the case with Jacob and his, Isaac and his wife. It was his wife Rebecca. Isaac and his wife, or Rachel, right, Rachel. So Isaac and Rachel was pregnant, right, with those two twins. And those things that God gave a revelation that there are two kids in your belly, that there are like two nations that are fighting among themselves. So that, for example, is a process of thought. I don't think she was, because she was thinking, okay, the hairy one is going to be as the servant of the other one. So she came up with some thoughts in her mind that, okay, one is going to be greater than the other. Okay, the one is going to be greater is the one that will be mine. I'm going to set it up. And she put all that thought, all those things were in thoughts in her mind, But it led to a big problem. And that led to even nations, the consequences of those things she did. Because then she told Jacob to go and deceive the father, and then to go and put the food, to deceive both the father and the brother. And so it led to actions. Is it Isaac and Rebecca? Did I say Rachel? Is Rebecca, right? Rebecca, Isaac and Rebecca. So Rachel is whose wife? Rachel is the wife of, I thought Rachel was the wife of Isaac.
It's Rebecca.
Rebecca is the wife of Isaac. And Rachel is whose wife? Jacob? Jacob, is it Jacob's wife? Rachel? Yeah. Rachel is Jacob's wife. Yeah, that's true. She's the one that is not so beautiful, right? Yeah. Then they have to get the sister also. Yeah, that's Rachel. That's Rachel. But Rebecca is the wife of Isaac. Yeah, yeah. So I'm talking about Isaac and Rebecca. So. So you see what thought could do. Thought could lead to big problems. Big problems. Let me show you another implication of thoughts. The same thing happened to Abraham and the wife, Sarah. Okay, let's analyze the situation with Sarah. She discovered that even though God promised them a descendant, a heir, and then she discovered she's not getting pregnant, and time was going. And here she is not getting pregnant. You know what was going on in her mind? Thoughts. Thoughts were going on in her mind. But thoughts have what? Implications. You know the implication? Let me give you my servant. So she came up with the idea. It was not Abraham's idea, because she was thinking. So thinking led her to doubt. So thinking like that make her to doubt. Oh, okay. Pastor Abi Daramola is here. She said Leah is the ugly one. Oh, okay. Leah is the one that is ugly, and then instead of her, got Rebecca Rachel, got Rachel as the replacement. Okay, I got it now. I got it now. So anyway, so you see, Sarah started doubting God because of what she was thinking about. So that doubt is an implication right there. It's an implication of wrong thinking. And then the doubt led to crooked ideas. She came up with ideas that were evil. And then she acted on those ideas. And got her husband to to get Ishmael. Do we call it Ismail or Ishmael? Ishmael. And that Ishmael is a big problem now because you know, all the Muslims are coming from there. So just from somebody's thinking, just from Sarah thinking funny, that led to implications, and that led to consequences, and we're still reaping the results. If up to now, the world, our whole world is divided just because somebody was not taking the thoughts serious and not thinking that, you know, thoughts could have big consequences like this. Same with Judas. Same with Judas. Because he was with the money. And so he thought, you know, because thoughts come to all of us. And he thought he could just get rid of Jesus. And now, that led to the killing of the Son of God. And he had to commit suicide and all that. So a lot of bad things happen when people you know, don't know that there are consequences. I mean, there are, you know, whatever implications to their thinking. But you see, Satan also wanted to use the same principle to capture Jesus, if you remember. Elizabeth Ali said, what we are doing right now is act of thinking. Yeah, I'm practicing, doing the practical art of thinking with you. I just left my note and I'm just trying to think together with you to get some practical example of what we're talking about. Because when Jesus came out of the fast, 40 days fast, you know, he was not talking with everybody. Those things that, the temptations of Jesus that we know about, those 4 temptations of Jesus, normally we think that Satan came to talk to him. No, it was in the thoughts. So when he was feeling hungry, thoughts were coming to his mind, suggestions, ideas. That, okay, since you are hungry, why don't you just, but there are stones here, why don't you just make some bread out of the stones? But in his thinking process, in his thoughts, he was able to overcome it. So it didn't lead to a negative action that could have led to a very bad consequence. Then, because he was on the mountain, because you had to come back from, you know, from the mountain to the ground, so he could see the wealth of the nation and imagine in his mind the wealth of the whole world. So that's Satan making him to pay attention to that and trying to engage his mind with negative, you know, thoughts or with evil thoughts or temptative thoughts that could have led him to compromise his calling. And that consequence would have been very bad. Huh?
Also, the king, he was worried about Jesus coming. And
who was worried? Herod. Somebody is writing here. Pastor Chris is saying, Abraham and Sarah gave birth to Isaac. Sarah gave her maid to Abraham. Yes. And Ishmael was born. Right, you're right. Jacob married sisters, Rachel and Leah. Both sisters gave their maids to. Yep, that's true. Both of them gave their maids to Jacob. Yeah, so there are a lot of things that could come out of just ordinary thoughts. And those things are what we call implications. You are talking about?
King Herod.
King Herod.
He was afraid of...
King Herod also conceived a thought of fear, being afraid of Jesus or somebody coming to take away his throne. And as a result, he couldn't kill Jesus, but he did kill thousands of other kids. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So the same thing with the same, I think, is it the same King Herod or another King Herod also tried to kill the church tried to kill the apostles. He killed Jacob. He wanted to kill Peter. And so, just because of thoughts of fear. So, yeah. So, but if we know this, we'll be able to really take charge of our thinking process and know that, oh, wow, every thinking has implications. Now it's more understandable, right, than the topic when you just have the topic. But the focus today is not consequences, because we are talking about thinking, and we are talking about thinking. Because consequences come from actions. Yes, we know that it will lead to that eventually, but that's later. So I'm paying more attention to the implication. So that's why I call it like all thinking has implication. So it's about the implications we're talking about, because that's about thoughts. Iyano is saying, wow, then I need to watch my thoughts more. Well, what do I say to that? I think you are right, Iyano. You might just be right about that. I think you are right about that, Iyano. But you know what, Iyano? It's not only you that needs to control about these thoughts more. I think what you said there is the word of every one of us. Everyone who is thinking right now the same thing, that, okay, I didn't know this is as serious as this. Okay, I've got to begin to control my thoughts more. Okay, Azuka Ego says, Pastor, King David was watching Bathsheba and had an affair with her, leading again to the death of her husband and a whole lot of consequences. Well, you are very right, Azuka Ego. You are very right, because, she was just looking, and then thoughts began to take over. Ooh. And that led to consequences. That led to implications, isn't it? Very bad implications, very bad implications. So, yeah, our thoughts could actually lead to many places. Yep. Ewa Adeniji is saying that everybody should go and share this message, because this message is so important. I think so. I think we should all go and share it. So please look below the video. You should be able to see a share button in your device. So please, let's go and share this, please. Let's go and share this this message. Edwin says, Pastor, this teaching is explosive. I wish we could broadcast it live to all Nigerians. Let's go and share the message, actually. Elizabeth is saying, wow, the mind is indeed the most powerful force, right? Yes. The mind is, yeah, so we need to cultivate it. And that's why Proverbs was telling us that more than anything else, you should guide your mind. You should protect your heart. That's talking about your mind, actually, your thinking process. Christina is saying that, even when people were building the Tower of Babylon, that this is probably the same principle that happened. So it came to somebody's mind. And God said that whatever they have thought of doing, which is about thinking, if they have agreed to do this, if they are thought of doing this, that nobody can stop them. So thinkings have implications.
We have obsessive thinking.
Oh, and obsessive thinking. I'm going to allow you to talk about that by yourself. Adeola, this is so true. Every thinking has consequences. That's why the Bible says in Philippians 4:8, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is noble, whatsoever is right, whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is lovely, whatsoever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, you see, God knows that only these things we should think about, because they will give you good implications. They will lead you to good implications. Think about such things. So then 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, casting down every imagination that is not in line with the truth. Consequences are inevitable. Implications are inevitable if thinking is not restrained. Yeah. So thinking leads to implications. Elizabeth Ali say, oh my God, DSA, when I listen to you explain the word of God, I realize I know nothing about the Bible, only religion. Ewa says, I'm loving this so much. This person is just for me, oh pastor. I think it's for all of us, really. Okay, now, so how do we use that? How do we control that? How do we manage that? Well, like I said, every time you are engaged in some form of thinking or the other, you should think about, you should try to trace. You have to do a mental tracing. Mental tracing. Try to navigate in your mind and use your foresight to see where could this logically lead to. What could be the end result of this kind of thinking? This kind of thinking, where could it land? What are the, the connections, the thinking process that could be connected to this, and then what are the actions that it could lead to? Because thinkings lead to actions. So trace the implications, and then after you discover what action it could lead to, that will help you to know if it's going to be bad or good. If it's going to be bad, then those actions will be bad actions that will lead to bad consequences. And if it's going to be good, then you could develop it. You could continue developing it. Somebody is asking, how do we separate the thoughts of God from the thoughts of man? First of all, we just read what somebody wrote for us now. I think it's Adiola Disu, Philippians chapter 4, verse 8, that only think about only the things that are good, that are nice, and all that. And then she also wrote about Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, that we should cast down thoughts that are against the will of God, the purposes of God. So what that also means is that we could find out if this a thought is good or bad through the Word of God. So the Word of God will let you know if this is conflicting with the Word of God or not. But another principle that I use to tell people to adopt is, you should think, this thing I'm thinking, is it good for God? Is it for the advancement of the purposes of God? Is it good for other people? And is it good for me? Don't put yourself first. Put it in that order. Put God first. Put the interest of God first. What is good? This thing I'm thinking, this thing I'm doing, is it good for God? Is it good for others? Before you talk about yourself, is it good for me? Like yesterday, we were talking about changing one's name after marriage for the ladies. And somebody was talking about the fact that I never even thought that my decision, to change my name after marrying my husband could have bad consequences to my relatives. Why? Because we're only thinking about ourselves. Then she said, I think it was Kate, she said, actually, as a matter of fact, she is the last person that is carrying the surname, the name of her father line. And she just went and changed it and just removed it and put another person's name. Because she never thought about the consequence of her actions and our thinking on other people. So if we really want to know if what we are doing what is right or not, we should think how that is going to benefit God or harm the purposes of God, or how that is going to benefit other people or rather harm other people. Okay, another way to use this form of thinking and implication is always ask yourself the simple question: what are the positive implications of this thought that I'm engaged in right now? And secondly, what are the negative implications of this thought I'm engaged in? To very much to my Instagram, Papa Moitani Moya Flushili. So the next thing you want to do, of course, is that you want to, having considered all possible consequences, you want to retrace your path and begin to think in the opposite direction so that you'll be able to come up with thoughts that have positive implications rather than negative implications. But let me now go to, after giving you that explanation or method of application, let me now give you more practical questions that you could ask yourself that will help you to apply this principle on a daily basis. So let me ask you some questions, or you could write down these questions that will help you. Number one, if I decide, ask yourself, if you decide to do so and so thing, what things might happen? Those are more practical questions you should ask yourself. If I decide to do so and so, what might happen? So these are still thoughts. The thoughts. So those thoughts will lead to some implications. But if you actually do the things, then it will lead to some consequences. Okay, a GK man is asking, people always say God told them. Does it mean God told, or is it their thoughts? Either way, it is their thoughts. Even if it is God who told them, that thing God told them will still come through their thoughts. So no matter what revelation God gives you, don't you ever believe, no matter what prophet you see before you, no matter how accurate anybody says, no matter how mighty God, man of God they are, and they tell you God says, know that no matter who he is, he's still just telling you his thoughts. Because there is no way God will speak to him without his thoughts. All of us, I'm a pastor myself, all of us, God only uses our thoughts to speak to us. Unless God appears to you and speaks audibly, which is a rare situation, even though it's possible. So the fact that even God comes to speak to somebody or give somebody a revelation, that doesn't mean that it's not coming through his thought. It's still coming through his thoughts. So God could actually bring an accurate message or an excellent message or a wonderful message, a God message. But because it's still going to come through the thoughts of a man, it could still be polluted. And it could still be misunderstood. And it could still be it could still appear somehow, anyhow. So no matter what revelation, don't even think that, is it God speaking? God doesn't speak. As long as he's going to speak through man, he doesn't speak independent of man's thoughts. It will still be through man. And if it's through man, it's going to be with some damages and with some pollutions and with some, with different kind of, So the man factor will always be there, even if it's God that is talking through a man. So that's why you should never go ahead and put your life on some prophet's thoughts or on some men of God that they are going to be giving you some revelation or the other. Any revelation they give you will still come from their mind, from what they know. So they will be limited. So they will be limited or enhanced by their own developments as well. Okay, so the next question you want to ask yourself when you are thinking through implications is, you need to ask yourself, if I decide not to do this thing, if I decide not to do this, and this, what will happen? What will happen? What will be the implications and consequences? So learn to think things through. Right through to the implications, and then don't stop at the implications. Go ahead and trace it through your mind as well until you get to actions and consequences. Because they are one always leads to the other. Next question you want to ask yourself is, when you listen to people, when people speak, right? And when they are expressing their position or their thoughts or their mind, be careful to always ask yourself the same question. What are they implying when they say that? And of course, you've got to ask yourself these similar questions too. So anytime you are thinking about anything, you say, okay, what do I really want to say? What is the goal that I want to attain at the end of the day? What is the result that I desire to have? Next point. In any thinking that you are engaged in, take the time to ask yourself another question, which says, what is likely to happen if I decide to do this as against this? So do comparison. Do logical comparisons. If I do this, what are the consequences? As against if I do this. If I do the other thing, what are the implications? If I think about this, if I plan this, what implications would this lead me to? And if I do that, what are the consequences I'm going to have? When you listen to someone, another question you want to have in mind is to always ask yourself, to always ask other people that you listen to, give them the benefit of a doubt to clarify themselves. So one of the questions you might want to ask people is, excuse me, what are you implying by that? What do you mean by that? What are you trying to say? What are you referring to? What are you implying by that? So let them explain to you. And when they explain something to you, make sure that their explanation leads to some implications or consequences. Don't let them just stop at explanation. Some people just explain things to you, but they never ever get to implications of those things they're explaining to you. They never tell you the implications, and they never tell you the consequences. So you have to be targeting consequences when people talk to you about anything, and you must be targeting implications. Those must be your target. Those must be the things that you are actually, after. That's the information you want to hear. Next point. Whenever you are thinking on doing anything or about anything, another question you might want to ask yourself is, how serious are the implications of these my thoughts? Or how serious are the implications of these my decisions or these my actions? How serious are the consequences or implications of these my thoughts, actions? How significant are they to me? The consequences, the implications, how significant are they to other people, to God? That's another question. How significant are the consequences or implications of this action or these thoughts on me, on other people, on God? Start with God always. On God, others, and me. For example, if somebody tells you an information like the majority of black Americans are in prison. Or let's say somebody comes to you and says, there are more percentage of black male that are in jail more than the other nationalities in America, or more than other races in America. That's a truthful statement. But what you want to target is the implication. Why is the implication of him saying that? What are the consequences? Does he want to say, okay, is he implying that since black male are more in the American jail than other races, is he implying that America is not a fair society or a just society? Or is he implying that black people must take responsibility for their community and their lives? Or is he implying that we have to go and form our political party and fight for our interests? So always look for implications and implications in people's thoughts and thought process. What?
It's like motive. Like motives. You are looking for motives for this person.
It might not be the motive of the person. Might not. Motive is different from implication.
He's trying to support an argument.
Motive, it might be connected. Sometimes motive and implication are the same, but some people don't even think about motive. They just say things, but that thing they say still has implications, even though the motive might be different. So if you say blacks are put in prison in large numbers and other white people are not, so his motive might be saying to improve the black community. Maybe that's his motive. But implication that I'm having is, okay, it means that the society is not just to the black people. You see? So the same thought, but so you want to find out from the person who is saying that, what are his own implications? What is he implying? So you don't say what are the implications, then you will hide it. But if you say what is he implying, that's easier. Yeah, someone said DSA is teaching us the power of constructive thinking. Yep, I hope it helps. I hope it helps. Okay, Pastor Abi is saying, does implication initiate a motive? It could be that way, but it could be vice versa as well. The motive could, most of the time, the motive actually initiates implications. But sometimes also the implication could initiate a motive. But I want to hear you girls, you ladies, what are you thinking about this teaching about implication, consequences, and thinking and all that today? Please come, let's hear your thoughts.
I understood that anytime you think, you build like a funnel for your thoughts. Every time you start thinking, you build a funnel, and it means that you won't be able to analyze this thing from different angles. I'll try to explain it. Like
with your great examples, eh?
Yeah, for example of a lady obsessed with giving birth to a child. She has this thought, and she starts to think about this, like, I have to give a birth to a child, and
you know, in my country, Nigeria, that it's very important for a woman to have a child. So, but it's a thought that always have implication. Now in Nigeria, because of the medicine, so medicine started to give people the opportunity to have medical tests, especially when they want to do blood donation and something. So now in Nigeria, so many families that have 3 children, 5 children, 6 children, you know what they discover? They are discovering that this husband doesn't have one. The husband is not the father of any of those 3 children or 5 children or 6 children. So they have lived for 30 years or 60 years or 50 years or 40 years, and all the children don't belong to the man at all.
Because they will.
Because the implications of the thought, and the prevailing thought in our society is that a woman must have a child. And if she doesn't have a child, the woman is to blame. So when the woman lives with the man for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5 years, everybody says, go get a child. And the man doesn't believe that he cannot make a child. So she begins to get the children home. And because she needs to stay in the marriage, that's the understanding. And they think she is the one who has problem. And this is everywhere right now. Everywhere. People are having children that don't belong to them just because they are obsessed. Not just the women are obsessed, but the whole country is obsessed with having children. Go ahead. Come, but this is what I just said. You give your own. You started to talk about children.
So this thought of having a child, it doesn't allow, I think, women to analyze. At one point, they are so obsessed with this thought that they do not review this problem from different angles. They just look for solutions according to the desire that they have. Like, for example, if we talk about the technologies that are available now, people are doing the in vitro. I think what is the name in English?
IVF.
IVF, yeah. They're doing IVF, and I know personally an example of a lady that was obsessed so much with having a child that they went for this IVF, and she suffered so much. For 9 months she couldn't. This lady, she couldn't eat. She was throwing for 9 months. She had to take pills for this IVF to work. She had to take. Okay. So she had to take pills on daily basis, about maybe 5 or 6 or 7 times a day for 9 months. She destroyed her health, and finally, when she had to give birth to the child died before she gave birth. Ooh. And she lost her health. Wow. She lost her health
and lost the child too.
And lost the child and lost opportunity to have children at all in the future. So this is a result of her or family a result of a family being obsessed with this idea. They were not, I think, like how I can see it, I think that the idea of having child brought them to find a solution. So they found solution, and they were not able to analyze the situation. They were not able to analyze the implications of going through this IVF. And they could do a research, find out what are the percentages of people who have children as a result of IVF, and how many people lose children and lose health. Because when they go to these clinics, what is presented to them is albums of happy families who have children, not albums of destroyed families and health. And as an example of Sarah, she was also obsessed with having child, and the implications, as we discussed, were also not very good. So I think this is the thoughts about having child is very often, and it is a good example of being not able to control thoughts. Now, I have a question, Pastor. Mm-hmm. If someone has identified himself to be in this situation already, if someone is obsessed with a thought,
okay.
Now he understands. If person is able to trace thoughts,
yes.
Now the lady, for example, understands that she is obsessed with having child. Yes. What she should do now?
Okay. Is that your final? You come back if you need to add anything? Okay. So if you realize that you already obsessed with a thought, or you are already having a thought that could lead to bad consequences, because for example, the woman. This is not one case or two cases. In fact, last month, I read in the Nigerian newspaper that one man killed the wife because he discovered that all his six children, none of them is his. Mm-hmm. Then, 3 months ago in England, there was a TV program, I think it's a show program, it's a TV show, where a Nigerian father, I think a son, it was shown everywhere, everybody was talking about it, that this man came to the television to find out, is he my father or not? Mm-hmm. Is he my son? I think the children, maybe one was in Nigeria, the father was Nigerian, he was here also. Then they did a medical test on live television, live program in England. And they discovered that, okay, it was a reality show, yeah. Okay, they call it Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah, Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah, okay, Jeremy Kyle show, yeah. Everybody saw it, went all over the world. And the old man, 60-year-old, I think, was crying because the result came that the only son, I think, is not the father, it's not the father, it's not the son.
Not biological son. Not
biological son. And then, it became a big DNA test, confirmed it, that it was not his son. But it became a big thing. And the man was weeping. And the boy also was frustrated. Personally, I wouldn't have, what I don't like about that, is he my father or is not my father, is that I don't believe in the fact that a man that trained you up to be 30 years old, you are 30 years old or 40 years old, he trained you all from when you came from the hospital. He gave you everything you have right now. I wouldn't bother. He trained me, I don't care. But he's my father as long as he trained me. But in Nigeria, this is like a craze. It's like about blood. What is blood? If you put your value system in that child, if you train that child in the right way and put your value system and give your whole life to that child, that is you are the father. It is not who slept with the woman that is the father. It is who gave life to the child that is the father. So I know a lot of families whereby a father had brought up the son, and then he goes and say, oh, I want to find my real father, or even mother. Some people say, I want to look for my own mother. But your mother was not here for you. Your mother didn't make you anything. And then you now deny the man that contributed everything to your life, or the woman that raised you up and gave you everything. You now want to walk out on him and look for somebody that was lost, that was never there in your life. I want to say that I have the same situation. I have the same situation. Because in my own, my name that you know right now, Adelaja, Sunday Adelaja. That's not my father's name. That Adelaja is the surname of my mother. Not the surname of my father. Not the surname of my father. I don't even know the surname of my father. And everybody is asking, do you want to know? Do you look for him? I don't care to look for him. I don't care. I'm not interested. The person who invested his life in me, the family who raised me up, put everything in me, they are the ones who are my father. So I'm not interested in all the DNA tests. I'm not interested. The person who was there for me is my father. Now, to answer your question. If a woman or a man or somebody discovers that is obsessed with a thought already, or is already having some thoughts that could have negative consequences, so what does he do? Number one, you must know that all thoughts that you have, every thought that you have, is not coming from the sky, or from the moon, or from the atmosphere. Your thoughts and your that you are having right now, they were brought to you from somewhere. Thoughts are as a result of some knowledge or some information that you heard before. So the reason why women in Africa, for example, or people in Africa are obsessed with having children, by all means, to keep their family, because that's what is being taught to them. That's what they've heard. That's what has been taught to them since they were young, that you must have a child, that there is no marriage, and you are not a good wife, or you are not a productive wife if you don't have children when you marry. So that's not just coming from somewhere. That's coming from people talking about it. So for you to change that thought process in you and thinking bad or feeling bad, you must change the information that comes to your ears. You must be able to block those information, at least, and begin to expose your ears and yourself to other form of information where people are celebrating women without children, where other women without children are achieving the best they could become, where women without children are better than women with children. So when you are exposing yourself to that other side of life, and when that is what you begin to feed yourself with, you will discover that the inferiority complex that you are feeling before disappears.
You need to feed yourself with another.
You need to get, because our thoughts don't just come from nowhere. Our thoughts are a result of 5 things. The information you hear, the things you see, the 5 senses, the 5 organs of senses. The things you see, the things you smell, the things you touch, the things you taste. So all these things, especially what you hear and what you see and what you touch. Just like I said about why did I stop watching movies? Because I hear, they create in me something that I couldn't fight with. I don't know if you get that.
Yes, I got it.
You wanted to continue? You have friends. Obi Ojimadu said, there are fathers and there are donors. The man who gave you life is your father, is not your father. The man who gave you life is your father, biological or not. So the man who trained you in life, who gave you real life, is your father, either it's biological or not. The man who gave you biological life is a donor, is not your father. That's what she said. That's what Toby is saying. Olufemi Abiodun says, wow, Pastor, I can't believe what I just heard from you. Seriously? I don't know what you just heard. I've said a lot of things now. Tell me what you mean. What is it that you just heard? I don't know what you are referring to. Edwin Amimi said, Pastor, that is why people feel at home when they come around you. You make room to accommodate everybody. Yeah, but I want to hear what Olufemi Abiodun Lawson means by saying that he couldn't believe what he heard me say. I don't know what he heard me say.
Yeah, there are more questions.
More questions?
Yeah, I have
in relation to the obsessiveness.
Oh, what is it? They say I can't say. You read it out.
Then Oko says, could you be obsessed with the desire for success? What are the implications? Is that a good thought? Should that be regarded as a good thought to hold on to?
Okay, if you are obsessed by the desire for success, you could end up, being like the Anambra boys. I've learned not to say Igbo boys anymore because they said, mainly the Anambra boys are like that. And the Anambra, when you are obsessed by success, by all means, you are in trouble. Because if you are obsessed by success, then any way goes, any means goes of making that success. That is why those boys are carrying drugs. The reason they are carrying, of course, not every Anambra boy, but many of them do that. The reason why they are carrying drugs is because they are obsessed by success, and their community and their environment want them to bring success, to be successful by all means. So they use any means possible to be successful. So it could be very bad if you are obsessed by success. But at the same time, it could also be good. But you shouldn't be obsessed by the success. You should be obsessed by your goal rather than by success. So if your goal is to glorify God and the kingdom of God, if you are doing it for God, then success is good. If you want to, or if you also want to use that success to do good to others, that success might be good. But if it's just about success itself, then it's going to lead you to something bad. You must have a goal that is bigger than the success. You must have a goal as well that is bigger than you. So once the goal is bigger than you and bigger than your success, then then it's going to help you. Yeah, your goal is always going to correct you.
I have another question, Pastor.
No, you said other questions are there?
Yeah, there are a couple.
It was yours, but why she's looking for?
The question is, there are a lot of thoughts that are coming all the time. Are we able to control all of them?
Oh, yeah.
And how
I already said when I spoke about restraints, the power of restraint. You are determined for yourself 3 or 4 or 5 sphere area where you only intentionally think about. That will already remove 70% or 80% of the wrong thoughts, because you discipline yourself to only think about these things. But there will still be uncontrollable thoughts sometimes, but you have already sieved out a large bunch. But you don't intentionally, that's already a good thing. You intentionally don't think about what you don't want to think about. You already know what you want to think about intentionally. All of that will be coming, but you are not stopping on them. So that's a big one. But the biggest way is for you to find out where the source of the wrong information are coming from. Those 5 sources. What am I hearing that gave birth to this? What am I saying that led to this? What am I touching? What am I saying? What am I reading? What am I that's leading to this? If you can cut off or change the source of those thoughts, then you are good. That's why environment is 50% of success.
Also, what if you cannot cut off? For example, you are living. For example, this TV.
Yeah.
You are living in the house
Yeah.
where everyone in the house.
Okay, I cannot cut off. For example, I live in Ukraine, and in Ukraine, I am I'm going to court every week, 3 times a week. They are putting a lot of pressure on me. So it's something that doesn't depend on me. The situation around me, they make me to go to court and I have to go to court. If I don't go to court, I'll go to jail. So I have to go to court. So this is a situation that is beyond what I see or what I hear, or this is something that is beyond me. But what I could do is that when I'm in court, I could create my own environment. Then I have to create my own focus and make sure that my focus is stronger than the reality around me. So you've got to develop a strong focus. If you are able to put focus on something, whatever is happening to you, it's not really your reality. The real reality is what you focus on. Even though what you are going through is your reality, but if you develop a strong focus, you could make your focus mentally to supersede and to be stronger than what is going on around you. So if you, even when I'm in court, if anybody has gone with me to court before, when I'm in the courtroom, I'm focused on another thing. I'm doing my own thing. For example, I've been in Ukraine for 8 years, not traveling out. So I could be crying and be weeping because it's all pain and all it's injustice. What I didn't do, I'm being accused of it. So I could be living in that reality. But what I did, I created another reality. I started HMT I focus on make that reality more stronger than the evil accusation that I'm in. I focus on writing my books. So I create a new reality that way than the country of, and then the military, I mean the police, the court, and the accusation, the wrong thing. So I create a greater reality than the physical reality that is pressing and that is trying to destroy me. Television, that is, I don't even talk about, that's rubbish, that's easy. Television, that's what I overcame when I was living in university. Because when you are living in university, you live in the room and there are all your neighbors and television, sometimes sex, and you have to be there and to go to study, so you have to overcome it.
And what about pressure of society? For example,
that's just what I just spoke about now, society for me. You have to create your microclimate, your own reality, through focus.
So for the lady that is obsessed with bearing a child, and she has pressure from family, from husband, from everyone, and she doesn't want to...
Because you were sleeping, I just told you that that person has to connect herself to the source of another information. That is creating another reality right there. Where they are praising people that our own society is putting down. She has to feed her ear with another information.
So can I ask?
Yes. You need to either come here or speak louder.
Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to ask Pastor whether the thoughts and the source of our thoughts, can we liken that to inference, as we talked about yesterday? Inference.
Yes. Not yesterday, it was
last week, yeah. And whether these play a huge role in our thought processes.
Yeah, every one of them has an inference. You got it from somewhere. From your parents, from what your society has said. Yeah, that's an inference.
Okay, thank you.
That question or explanation?
No. If I came here, it means better just to give my feedback. So what is my now understanding is that I can identify that I was obsessed with some thought. So I need to switch my focus to another thought and become obsessed with it. This is what Pastor said, that if I'm obsessed with a thought that is going to have bad implications or having already bad implications and might have bad consequences, then I need to become obsessed with the goal. And Pastor gave also 3 levels of like where you have to switch your attention to by asking question: what is it going to help? Is it beneficial for God? If it's beneficial for other people, and then the last is if it's beneficial for me. So I have to switch myself to goal and become obsessed with this. This is what I understand. Yep. To become obsessed with another goal.
The source of information that is the opposite, that is giving you what you need, that is leading you where you want to go.
Yeah, so become obsessed with the thing that is leading me to the place where I
Now
want
you
to
got
be.
it, yes.
I have to be feeding myself with the information, change the source of information,
Yes.
and feed myself until the moment when I become
Obsessed with the new
this.
information which will lead me to where I'm going. Just like we are swimming.
Yeah, so this is
Before you were swimming against the current. Now you just lie, it carries you.
so it means that my life is predictable, and it depends on what the information that I will put in my
Inside
head.
yourself.
And I need to ensure that I'm getting obsessed with this.
Yes, that information you have to first of all make sure it's taking you to where you want to go to your goals. Then when you are obsessed with it, then it just carries you as if you are swimming. It's just like the water, it's just floating on the water.
So what I don't know about men, but I think about women that women are getting obsessed more than men.
Yes.
Yeah, because they are, flying in these thoughts all the time, and so emotions are involved and everything. So for woman to be able to build her future, she really needs to control the source of information that
Yes.
gets this.
It's very easy. If she gets the right information and she's connected to the right information and wrapped herself, it's easier for her to get obsessed with it.
So it means that if I build a system for myself and I ensure that every day I get a specific information from specific source all the time, then I can protect myself from being obsessed with other things.
Yes, that's why for women, it's easier for women to be faithful in marriage than men. Because for a woman, if she knows that that's her husband and that's the family she wants to, it takes over all her emotions, everything. She's just obsessed by it immediately. But men don't become upset like that easily. Man can still be in marriage thinking he knows it's in his mind, but his emotion, everything is not obsessed by it. So that's why a woman has a child, she cannot leave the child and just go and do somewhere. Very rare. But men can do that. He can even forget he has a child in another city. He can even live with another person, because it's not so easy for men to be obsessed like that, because they are more mental, unless he wants to be. But for women, it's easier to be like that, to be carried. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Thank you so much, Pastor. I think it's very, very important, especially for emotional women, because I noticed that at one point when I was young that I've been obsessed with some things, and I was not able, to stop actions. Like I was doing actions that I was not pleased with result,
And you couldn't
I couldn't stop, and I didn't know how to do it because the thoughts, they were coming, so it was not possible to stop it. So this
And it's easy, really.
Yeah, it's easy. Just you have to and have another source of information. Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Is there anyone-
You Julie, want to come? Any questions?
There are questions, yeah.
Yeah. Can you come and ask the questions?
Okay. So one question that was asked.
Yes.
One question that was asked was, sir, is the word of knowledge then a fallacy?
Why a fallacy?
I don't know. That was just the
No,
question.
word of knowledge is not a fallacy. Word of knowledge, for example, I get word of knowledge or prophecy or word of wisdom that, for example, somebody is having a headache here. But I get it that you have headache, but I might not be able to describe what concretely is the reason for that headache or what is the source of that headache. So I could just say headache, but meanwhile you are having hemorrhage. So God is showing me something in the head. So it's still, for example, sometimes I see that somebody is having something in the stomach, but because I didn't read medicine and I don't know the anatomy of man, I said, oh, you have something in the kidney. But that was not kidney, that was over pancreas or something like that, pancreatitis. You understand?
Yeah.
So it has the tendency to, for example, you might be having something in your leg, like a fracture. Then I say, oh, somebody has a broken leg. It's similar, but so it still depends. If I know the difference between broken and fracture, I might be able to say. You understand?
I have one I have one example.
Okay, please. She has one example.
About maybe 5 years ago, my mom was diagnosed to have some sickness with eyes, where people get blind after this glaucoma.
Glaucoma.
Yeah.
No, not cataract, glaucoma. You see, that's a different. There is cataract, there is glaucoma. They're different.
After glaucoma, people are getting blind. And they say it cannot be healed. Maybe not 5 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago. So she was doing 3 diagnostics at that time, whatever they could do, and all of them they were confirmed that there is glaucoma. And just in one consultation, she was told that she doesn't have anything there, and this was most authoritative source of information. Like the 3 other were not right and were not correct. My mother became obsessed so much with this idea that she has the wrong diagnosis. She started feeling that she is not seeing very good. She started living with this. She was so much depressed. She was crying, so much. Just
she started having symptoms.
And she started having symptoms. Now, when technology evolved, she went to do a diagnosis, and they say, you're not even close to having something like this. And she did few diagnoses. They say, you don't have anything like this. And she was struggling, crying, looking for money to do, operations and everything because of this information. So the source... she changed the source. She had another source of information. There was another diagnosis which is more authoritative, saying that she doesn't have anything, but she stick to the one that was more emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to build on that, someone asked. So a better informed mind may be more accurate in word of knowledge or in prophecy.
Yes.
Instead of prophecy, or
both?
Both. Okay.
So people who that's why, for example, I'm sorry to say, but there has been some. When you look at the category of men of God in some churches in Nigeria, and it's just most of the men of God that are having chaos and havoc. All these denominations doing just religious. They have a lot of followership, but a lot of them are illiterate themselves. They are uninformed men. And when all this crowd of illiterate people are following them, they're the ones doing the crazy stuff. But the ones who are more educated, who are more enlightened, sometimes they behave better. But there are some educated people who are just having education in paper, but not in their head. But the ones who really have real education in their head, they behave. Their members also behave more decently. But yeah. I know that question.
Yes.
Okay.
Theophilus is asking: if a woman adopts a child, is it advisable to tell the child she adopted them, because of the possible, consequences that it will have, that the relationship may?
Yeah, but that could be okay. But maybe I would not do that immediately. I would probably do that only after the child is matured enough to know the difference, that there is really no difference that you are adopted or not, that you are a child. So I would rather treat him like a child of ours all the time until he's already, settled and he cannot be threatened. Because if you put that thought in him from the beginning, he might not even have the time to assimilate the fact that you are the parents. That's what I think. Ernest Ebong said this can actually help us overcome any negative circumstances by creating a different environment for ourselves that will lead us to wherever we are going. Unnecessary stress will be overcome. Yep. Curtis says headaches, for example, are stress related based on physics. Yep. Theophilus says DSA, you are a brain box, or more strength in Jesus' name. What is brain box? Lerisha said, love that topic, helping me a lot. Thank you, Apostle. Thank you. T.Y. say, a young girl this year hung herself because her boyfriend dumped her. Men rarely do this, and so other things. So women are easily obsessive. Yeah. Joseph Oyewole, we are so grateful for this uncommon wisdom, they say. T.Y. say, women must really guide their mind because we are too emotional, right? Edwin says, Pastor, I got so much from you that delivered me from religious trends. Thank you, sir. Ben Oko, thank you, DSA. There is a difference between thinking and living to be successful and living for goals. Goals, I guess, should be in line with purpose. You got it. You got it now. TY says, yes, with this teaching, life is predictable. Elizabeth says, thank you, Kate. It's really not easy for women, huh?
Pastor, maybe because of this.
Christina is saying, Pastor, I've just imagined what should be my reality in the next 6 months. What should be my focus? Yes, everybody could actually determine that. Not just in the next 6 months, but in the next 6 years too. Or 20 years or so. What do you say?
Maybe because of this, women are more easy to become addicted to alcohol and cigarettes.
No, they are more. That's a physical stuff. Men will be more easily addicted to alcohol and cigarettes than women. Yeah, because women are more emotionally. But alcohol and cigarette come from outside, so that is not a big thing. Yeah, those are more.
Deal with their problems internally.
Yes. Those are more outward. Like these men that use that more. But women are more emotional to anything that is. I mean, they are more addictive to anything that's emotionally driven. If inside.
These are just consequences. Of
Yeah. Nick Cabasso says, using the method of creating your own environment in the thought pattern, you can overcome anything you are going through. Right. Create your own reality. Elizabeth says, be obsessed with your purpose. That's the key. Yes. Okay, any one of you want to add anything, contribute, or say anything?
You know, I thought maybe I would like to share something regarding smoking. You know, there was a time when I was smoking so much. I was like about 20 years old, and I was smoking one package of cigarettes. And when I was buying them, when I was not buying, I was maybe smoking 2 or 1.5, like this, without lighter. And I couldn't stop it. I thought, I understood that it was damaging my health. I was coughing a lot, and people were laughing that I have smoker's cough and everything. And but I couldn't stop it. I was betting with my friends that, you know, if I don't stop it tomorrow, I pay you $100 or something like this. Like, you know, different ways trying to cut it off, and I couldn't do it. And at one place, when I came to church, I got another source of information. Like before, I was obsessed with thought that I need to smoke, I need to go out, I need to have a break, smoke break and everything. And all the time I was looking for a solution. Where is the cigarettes? Where to get cigarettes, because I was young, you know, I was not working, and I didn't have so much money to buy those cigarettes. So there was a thought all the time where to get these cigarettes. And when I came to church, I stopped smoking in 3 days. I don't remember how it happened. I just was obsessed with reading Bible. It was so much interesting to read Bible that I was trying to find any space in my time to read Bible. Any break, you know, was thinking about Bible. And I don't even remember how I stopped smoking, but I didn't have any more interest.
Focus changed.
Yeah, I didn't have any more interest, and it never came back. And I was fighting with this. I was smoking 1 year, and after I was fighting 1 year with trying to stop smoking. And when I came to church and I discovered Bible, started understanding it, in 3 days, it just disappeared from my life. Like this, yeah.
Anybody wants to contribute anything to this topic about implications, thinking and implications? Yeah.
So what I have noticed is that life is much more predictable this way if I really ask myself where my thoughts are going to lead me to, because before, I would just think something and ask myself, I'm thinking that, and I would maximize this thought. And I think this is one of the reasons, or one of the things that make us women, that we maximize, the thoughts that we have. But I would stop at maximizing it and, monopolize this thought that would take over my entire being, so that I would not be in control anymore. And this thought would be the thing that would, make me move or say something. So I noticed that if I ask myself, if I especially compare, what is it that I will do if, I act on A or I act on B? What is the consequence going to be? That I can actually predict what will happen. It's almost like, you're being, what's the word? You're predicting the future, really. And, this would not be something that I would think that I could be doing, but it's really about coordinating your thoughts and being in charge of what you think. And I've also noticed that whenever I focus on the goal, that everything else almost is silenced. That, all the other thoughts are just, it's like you're building a wall that all the other thoughts are just, bumping against, and they have no effect on you because you're so focused on your goal and the reason why you're doing what you're doing. So I find it so powerful, and I really have to ponder about it much more, because I think it's much deeper than I have a grasp right now. But I just realized how easy life can be if we really apply this principle.
Julia, this example you did yesterday, it didn't record. Do you want to tell me? The example was speaking publicly.
Oh, yeah. So an example I was giving yesterday was one thing that I was suffering from, and I'm, still working on it, but it's much better ever since I started to think about the goal that I have. So, for example, if I speak in front of people, I would think about all the different things. I would have thoughts like, oh my God, people are looking at my legs, or are these heels maybe too high? Maybe I will fall down, or maybe there's, the floor is slippery and anything. But my goal would be to share, to educate people. I want to educate people. And so I ask myself, is the thought of my high heels or my legs going to help me reach my goal? No, it's not. So I just get rid of that goal and focus on, my goal. Do I have to educate the people? Yes. How am I going to educate the people? By standing up and talking. And obviously you have to prepare yourself to get there and to be able to speak. But if you're ready, you're there, you have to talk. All the other thoughts that come in your mind that, interfere with your goal are easily dismissed because you're so focused on your goal. And it's like you're checking a checklist by following your goal. So, yeah, it's really, really helpful, and so simple, but, knowledge, I guess. It's not what we had so far, but yeah, thank you. Thank you, Pastor.
All right. Another person? Mrs. Showroom Day is coming, guys. Don't go away yet. The lady of the house herself is coming. She's the royal regal of the zone.
Good day, everybody. Welcome. I wanted to share my thoughts on this topic here. And for me, thinking is definitely something that I really need to develop on. And the reason is that I do get a lot of thoughts coming into my mind that distract me from focusing on my goal. and I never really knew what to do with them. I didn't know how to manage them. I tried my best to shut it down, but it wouldn't take too much longer. I would have other thoughts come in and just really distracting me. But I can tell you that since I've met Pastor Sunday, I have realized from when I was in his mentorship program that one of my things is putting my thoughts together to make a good point and conclusion, and at the same time understanding what my thoughts are. And what I gained today is actually tracing where are these thoughts coming from.
Yeah.
And that I've never practiced before. And so I'm looking at that as an extra tool for me to help me be able to focus so that I can accomplish my goal. But I can tell you that since I have been here from the anniversary time, I have adopted reading specifically for what I need to know. And I find myself being able to focus in the midst of whatever is going on around me if I have no choice. And I learned that just in the few days that I came here when we were working with Pastor Sunday as he is developing and going over editing and all that of his books. And when I first came in, I saw everybody with computers and I was thinking, are they typing the book all over again, or what is it that they're doing? Someone's reading the book. Aren't we supposed to listen to the book and all of that? But as time went on, some of the information of what I learned was that you can actually, in that kind of environment where a book is just being read to be corrected, edited, you can actually be doing a few things yourself. And so I started learning how to bring in my book that I really wanted to read, that Pastor Sunday had written. I really wanted to read it and really understand it. I found that I was able to manage the two. I was able to read my book and I was able to listen at the same time to what was going on. And so I found myself more focused and more looking at my goals. But the other thing too, when we talk about implication of thoughts, what I also thought about was, what kind of thoughts am I sharing with people? What am I doing to people? Am I misleading them? Am I leaving them with no conclusion? Am I just, giving out information that's going into their junk department? So today has made me say, okay, let me also look at this as that when I'm thinking about an issue and I'm going to share my thoughts, let them be thoughts that I should realize that there is going to be implications to what I'm going to tell them. So therefore, I really need to check on facts and truths of this information that I'm giving people so that I don't help complicate the thought concept to the people I want to share my ideas with. So it's given me information about how to develop myself and reach my goal much better. And also it's given me an idea that when I am sharing with people, I have to keep in consideration that I have to be responsible for the information that I'm giving people because they're going to think about it. There's going to be consequences and there's also implications. So what kind of implication do I want to communicate and what kind of great consequence do I want them to have from my information? So that's a little bit that I've learned so far since I've been here. Thank you.
Hello. I found the whole teaching on thinking very empowering and liberating. And, in the earlier teachings in the past weeks, Pastor taught us that what makes us human is the ability to think. And today's teaching has actually broken everything down for me. I mean, every week has broken it down. But I found the fact that as a human being, being able to understand that whatever comes in my head, first of all, I can either accept. It's my responsibility to accept or reject that information, or otherwise, I would have implication of, in any case, there would be an implication. So normally as a human, or maybe as a young lady, I would just think, or whatever comes in my head, I would automatically think that it came to my head.
That is you, right?
Yes, that's me, and also it came to my head for a reason that I don't really have any control other than to react to it, But this teaching today has given me the power, the knowledge and understanding that whatever comes to my head, it is my responsibility, it's my choice to do as I wish with it. So either let it stay, and then I get an implication, and then subsequently a consequence of what action I take based on the implication, or I discard that information. And for me, as a woman, as a person, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend as well, I thought that, when you're in a set group or you're in a certain community, you are just, you have no choice, that you're just, you even take this environment aspect out of the case for me. Because over the last few weeks, again, we've been learning, especially in HMT, about the environment. It's also taught me that even in my environment, I still have the power to make the choices that I want to make, and that the responsibility is mine. Because without taking the responsibility, there will be without taking the responsibility on the information that comes to my head, then there will be an implication, and I will suffer or enjoy the implication of my thoughts and the consequences as well. Although other people could suffer the consequences, but I have the power to make those changes of what the consequences would be. So this, for me, is really empowering. The Thinking series as a whole is an empowering series for me in everything that I do, from waking up, even when I sleep. I think the fact that I know that what makes me human is my ability to think actually stopped me as well from getting angry at anything, or blaming anybody for anything in my world, blame even for my circumstances, or for my success in life.
It's failure.
Or my failure, especially my failure, that my failure is my responsibility, that my thinking, I am what I think, and I should take responsibility for it. So it's really empowered me. At the moment, I feel like there's nothing that I can't do. I almost feel like a co-creator. Like I'm a creator myself. So as soon as anything comes to my head, I can either create it, expand it, and then make it whatever I want to make it. And if I make whatever I make it, is my choice, is my responsibility, is my doing. It's not anybody's doing. It's not even God's responsibility. It's all me. So I'm really grateful for this teaching, and I will actually work on it much more, because over the last few years I've learned a lot of things I have to unlearn, and this one is definitely something that I have to learn and practice every day with everything that comes into my mind. Yeah, so that's my thought.
Okay, I know that was it.
I'm still processing.
Okay. Yep. You want to share something? Okay. Yeah? All right. Let's see what people are saying here. Gift Amon said, thanks, dear. Say, you have taught me to live a life that is based on information. Iyano said, go, Mayowa. Mayo. She's calling you Mayo. Shegun Fatima, Pastor, how do you interpret Proverbs 12:5, which says the thoughts of the righteous are right? Oh, yeah, that means if you are righteous inside, it means you have put righteous thoughts inside your heart before. You don't become righteous because somebody said you are righteous or anybody called you righteous. You become righteous by the content that you have put inside yourself. That's why Jesus said that out of the heart of the man flows all kind of things, both the good, the bad, and ugly. So it all depends on what you have put there. That nothing can defile a man from what's coming outside. It's what is coming from inside. Deborah Cole is asking, how about Temi? What are you contributing? They are calling on you now. You have fans around there. Okay.
Hello, everybody. Most of the time when the teaching is going on, I tend to process it. Yeah, no, not switch off. You take my time to process what is going on before I can talk. For myself, I realize that what I do need to do, obviously, is to create my own environment. And it's easier, I don't want to say it's easier said than done, but personally, I realize how, when I look at who I am, I need to take time. For example, I was just thinking about opening my Evernote and opening a folder called The Art of, what's the date of again? Yeah, thinking. And I know that there are certain areas of my life that need healing. I have prayed about it. I have fasted. I've done all the Christianese things that we're told to do, and I feel like I've got no results. But I realize that I have a responsibility, and I think many Christians are in that area because we are taught that you need to pray, you need to go on long fast, like 30 fast, 40 day, 50, no results, and you can end up getting very frustrated, not understanding what is going on with you, or you may think that God isn't answering your prayer. So step one, I realize that I am responsible for my thoughts. And that can be very hard for a Christian, especially from those who come from Africa, where we have been raised up with the fact that, or the notion, or the belief that it is that witch, it's your mother-in-law, it's the devil that is causing whatever is happening in your life. So I have to unlearn that thinking. And so as I'm sitting there, I'm just thinking that, oh my gosh, this is such a huge responsibility. Number one, to own up and realize that I am responsible for all the thoughts that are coming into my mind. And to realize and to own the fact that all these thoughts are coming from my five senses, the five. So now I have to do the homework to look at. So my tastes, my mind, what am I listening to, or what have I listened to, as we were told last week, inferences, especially, my background. So I feel like I've got a lot of homework to do on myself, a lot of self-education. And so I'm even thinking of what kind of books that I need to concentrate on, because I'm not going to go into details, but I realize in certain areas of my life, I haven't gotten the results that I'm looking for. And I have honestly been frustrated with myself. So just start again. I realize, number one, I'm responsible for my thoughts. Number two, I need to do the homework, whether I'm going to start a journal, to start writing, so I can begin to trace my thoughts. So that's one practical way you can do it. So by writing, you can begin to trace where these thoughts are coming from. But most of the time we live in this, the devil made, it's the devil, it's my pastor, or it's my friend, or it's my husband that is making me do all this. But once I take my time to write all these things out, I can begin to trace where the original, if you like, lies or beliefs are coming from. Then step two, I can begin to look at, is this thing taking me towards God? So like a step-by-step process. Is this thing taking me towards God? Is it honoring God? Is it honoring other people? And what about myself? So this is, this is homework. So what I want to say to you that it's not going to be a quick process, because we live in an instant gratification society, and we like, I beg your pardon, because we like instant results. We don't like to put in the homework. But this actually is homework. It's going to take a lot of work. You may have to assign a day, like an hour in a day, to do this, to actually have solitude. solitude, maybe once an hour a day, to sit down with yourself. And one of the teachings on the art of analytical thinking, Pastor Sandy taught us to have a meeting with ourselves. So you're going to have a meeting with yourself and be honest with yourself and do this homework and to begin to write, okay, where is this coming from? Okay, I realize that, okay, I may be sensitive in this area. I am sensitive in this area because in my childhood, I was always told that I was average. So how am I going to flip the thought that I'm always average into thinking that I am phenomenal, into God's thoughts? So these are the processes that are going, in my mind right now, what I practically need to do so that I can manage my thoughts and be that person that God desires me to be. Yeah. So that's mine.
I have a book. Can you tell them about the book? I think you are reading that book now in Russian.
I don't have it with me.
Yeah, but you don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
I have a whole book about this, so that book will help you, but it's not yet in English. Maybe we have to send her to be working on it to help her to. I think somebody translated it for somebody.
Somebody took it. Yeah,
But nobody, they've not done it. Okay, let's try to give it to her. Maybe she could do it.
Okay, so
there are a lot of poems there. She has to find similar stories or similar poems in English, and because that's about tell them the name about the book.
So there is a book written by Pastor Sunday called
How to bring order to your thought life.
Yeah, how to bring order to your thoughts, mind, and
internal life.
Internal life. So, and this book has today's topic is why thoughts are important. There are different proverbs and different stories about people who didn't think that thoughts are important. There is a statement that many people, they think that thoughts, they do not have value because you don't see them. Just because you don't see them, you cannot evaluate how much important they are. So people, they don't give any attention to their thoughts. So this book reveals how much the thoughts are important, and that you need to be accountable for your thoughts. And then a pastor gives them the different instruments, how to control thoughts, how to ensure that thoughts are under control and they bring the order to your life. Basically, I have discovered, Pastor, that the name of this book, the first name of this book was Order in Your Thoughts, Order in Your Life. And the reason I discovered this is because I was thinking about why I have disorder in many areas of my life. And I understood that I was getting tired with disorder. And I didn't know where to start to bring order there. And suddenly I discovered this, the manuscript of the book, the first, and I discovered that the first name was Order in Your Life, Order in Your Thoughts, and Order in Your Life. And I started reading this book, and I discovered keys there. I discovered abilities of our mind, and I started to learn about mind, because I understood that my mind is a tool. If I don't know how to use it, I just have it, it's under my hair, somewhere, but I'm not using this tool, and this tool is brilliant, and I can. It's like the rule. Steering. It's like a steering. A small thing in our life that can thinking is like a steering, like it's invisible, it's small thing, steering of the ship. It's a small thing, but if you don't pay attention to it and you don't direct it, it will ruin all the ship, ruin all your life. And this is how our lives are. In many areas we have disorder, and if we analyze our life, we will understand where the disorder is, and it's easy to fix it. You just need to get your thoughts in order. in this place, and this book reveals it. You will be able to identify where is the disorder and how to fix it. And this is, I think this is one of the best books. I think it's not that popular. I didn't see many people reading this book in Russian, because the reason not many people are reading this book in Russian is because they don't understand how thoughts are important. They're trying. They're going to different trainings. They are going to different schools, and they're trying to fix their life. In finances, they are trying to fix their life. In families, they are trying to fix their life. In getting professional skills, they're trying to fix their life by acquiring a lot of new skills and listening to different people and techniques, using different techniques. But the first technique that you need to apply is to your mind, to your brain, how to control your thoughts. Because everything starts from there. If you want to, for example, you want to learn how to build build your financial future, you still need to control your thoughts, to learn to control your thoughts, because you will need at some point, you will need to say no to some thoughts and to say yes to some other thoughts. And if you don't have this skill, because managing your mind is a skill. It's not knowledge. Knowledge is not enough. The thing that you found out here is not enough. You have to have a skill. And in order to have a skill, you have to repeat and repeat and repeat process of managing your mind. And this book helps in this. So I hope we will be able to translate. Okay.
So, like I said, I already told you people that this is the last class I'm having with you on this topic of thinking. It's my last class with you. So, I will have to think about what are the other subjects I should address after when we start. If we start, I think we will start to do the broadcast again, which is after the birthday, maybe from the 1st of June. We might start again to do twice a day. Maybe maybe I will take this. Maybe I will take this topic as one of the topics to do about thoughts and how to bring order to your life by putting order in your thoughts. Then we could do that, like for 1 month and just teach on that. Someone is asking what's the name of the book. The book is still in Russian language. It's not yet in English, but we're going to give it to Anastasia. Maybe she'll have time to work on it. I think it's about managing your mind skills. Okay, Jane Munsuka said, the art of thinking has taught me that I am responsible for my thoughts, actions, and decisions. Therefore, I should own the consequences as well, analyze them and make necessary changes to get better, effective results. This requires me to unlearn some useless concepts I have come to believe over the years. Thank you, Dr. Adelaja, for this educative and inspiring teaching. Thank you, Royalties, for sharing your thoughts as well. I think we should write a book on mind shift.
Yes.
That's a good one, mind shift, right? Any question there that I need to answer or anything? Okay. Joseph Oyewale, DSA, can we say those who can control their thoughts and bring to themselves to come to the unity of purpose with God, His thoughts, His ways, in alignment to the nature and the character of God, will have mastery over their lives, and the consequences will be the actions of His thoughts will have impact in this world. Excellent. Yes. Blessing Amos says, blessings DSA for teaching us how we must learn how to control our thoughts, thinking, and words. We should make sure they are backed up with scriptures or logics. Dupe say, I'm taking my back. I'm taking my life back now. Like Mayowa said, Ufoma said, so true. We need to take responsibility for our thoughts and stop blaming others for the consequences that may result from the implications of our thoughts. Joyce Adegoke, I have always seen this as a problem because each time I decide to focus on something, I get thousands of thoughts that she's truthful. I get thousands of thoughts that either discourage me or put fear in me, and in most cases, it make me to fail most of the time. And when I have a goal, I quickly pray and keep praying to stay focused or stay in track. In order, but prayer is not the key. That's not. They are using the wrong instrument for wrong stuff. That's why churches, when they only make people to pray, they just making people to waste their lives.
It's like you don't pray to cook food. You just go and cook food.
You don't pray to cook food. You have to go and cook food if you need to. But they want you to pray to do everything. So it's a pity. Christina, implications of our thoughts have a large-scale consequences. Implications can impact our own future, the world, and the next generation as well. This understanding increases personal responsibility concerning my thoughts. Iyanu says, so we have to take charge of our lives by taking charge of our thoughts, right? Oluwatoyin Adebayo, how can I control myself in getting a lot of things I don't need? Despite my mind will be telling me to go and get it. The same principle, like I told you about the television in the house, or the woman that wants a child, or change your focus. Change the source of the information that you have been feeding yourself with that has led you to that desire up to now. So I will advise Oluwatoyin to go and listen to this again.
This is even more understandable when we say change your focus. It's not understandable enough. But
for me it is.
Yeah, but when we say change your focus, it's like you change your focus to another subject, but it's not action. You don't know what to do. But when we say change your source of information, then we understand that you have acquired information from another source. So there is already action that you need to do. You understand it's self-education. Yeah, but when we say change your focus, it's just like change your attention. It's here now. Change your attention, and what is then? What is the solution? What do I do on daily basis? It's not clear. But when you say source, now even for me it became much more clearer. Because I'm working with women who had miscarriages, and what I say to them is you need to change your focus. And I don't understand why they don't understand. I couldn't understand why they are not getting. I'm trying to explain them to them. This is the solution. You change your focus from getting a baby by any means to your life goal. This is what I say to them. But they don't have any idea about their life goals and which goals can be. And I understood that I have to help them change the source of information. So this was my discovery also.
Thank you. There is Mark Lerisha here. I think she's here for the first time. So she said, Apostle, this teaching is going to change my life. I was supposed to be a part of another webinar about business. And then the Holy Spirit directed me to listen to your broadcast instead. I understand why now. I am so grateful. I received from this topic the tools to redesign my life and predict all the outcomes. Wow, that is big. My life has become predictable just by listening one time. Life by Design. Oh, that's a good title for a book. Life by Design. Oh, instead of Life Predictable, Life by Design. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Yanu says, I believe the environment can help a lot to focus our thoughts. Yeah, sure. Building an environment of the kind of information and influence that you want, and your mind will follow it. Yep. Jane Monsuka said, "Thank you, Anastasia. You won't believe how much stuff have changed in my life since I started listening to the essay." Don Pedro is saying, "Please allow the links to these teachings to be accessible, Pastor. I want to download them." Can you please come and help people to know how to get the links to these messages? Okay. They are all there in the YouTube.
Hello, everybody. The best.
Make yourself visible.
Okay. There are two prominent ways that you can get the links to these videos. The first one being, you can go to YouTube, go to Sunday Adelaja Official. So that's Sunday Adelaja Official, and that would take you to Dr. Sunday's channel on YouTube. There you will find a playlist right in the middle of his channel. Once you've clicked on his picture, you'll find a playlist, and in the playlist you'll find a whole list of categories of teachings there. So you can click your desired category. All the links is on there. As soon as we finish our daily broadcast is on there, and more that you haven't seen as well. So we've got up to 3,000 various teachings on there, so you can get it on YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official. Secondly, you can go to his blog, where you would find videos and audios as well. So, and also you will find articles, and that is sundayadelajablog.com. I repeat, it's sundayadelajablog.com /videos. So if you want to go directly to the videos, you can put /videos. If you don't want to go directly, go to sundayadelajablog.com and just explore the whole blog website. There's so much information on there that you can benefit from. So YouTube, Sunday Adelaja Official, and blog is sundayadelajablog.com. So those are the two prominent sites that you can get, or platform that you can get its links. You can ask any of us. My name is Mayowa Olaya on there.
The links are here now, right?
Yes, and the links are also, yes, okay.
My comments.
So if you look under Dr. Sunday Adelaja comments on this broadcast, you would also find a link. You can copy that link onto your page, or you can copy that link onto your computer, so that you can have it all the time. Okay?
And share the video to the timeline.
Oh, yes. And another way is to share this video right now onto your timeline, so you can always go back to it whenever you need it.
And the links are there.
Yeah.
So, Don Pedro, I hope that helps you. Amos Idire said, "I think you should take time, Pastor, to educate the pastors in Africa. So far, you are the only one that I know that is engaging people and the life of people, that is telling them things that will help their lives." Thank you. Lerisha, today is a reset, a rerouting day for me. I will feed my thoughts and become obsessed with what will feed me positively towards where I'm going. Right, that's the key. TY says, "I never practiced this before. I will begin to trace my thought now and begin to put into practice." Good. Edwin, Pastor, the people in Ukraine thought that they took you to court and they thereby curtail your movement, but God has used it to become a source of blessing rather than pain. God is in perfect control when you yield to Him. TY said this Saturday's meetings, all these Saturday series should become separate books, each one of them, and DVDs, books, etc. Jane says we need to be thinking rather than fasting and praying all the time. Okay, for example, Pastor Edwin just said something now, which looks very right, religiously speaking. Okay, he just said, Pastor, they meant to curtail you by taking you to court and putting you in Ukraine here, not allowing you to travel. But God has turned it for something good, to something good. Sounds very okay, sounds very nice, sounds very pious and religious. But I tell you what, whatever condition somebody puts you or you find yourself in, God will just be looking. He will not do anything about it. Yes, He won't do anything about it. If I had been here in Ukraine under this limitation and I don't know what to do and I don't do anything by it, God will just be looking like this. God will be totally indifferent. Leave God out of this dead. God doesn't have anything. If you don't have the knowledge to know what to do, if you don't do anything by yourself, he said God has done it. How did God turn it? God turned it by me thinking of doing live program. God turned it. He gave me the idea, but I have to work it and go and do it. God turned it by me sitting down to write books. He gave me the idea, but I still have to sit down and do it. God turned it by making me to go and be doing HMT. God maybe gave me the idea, but I still have to come up, do the research, do my polls and my interviews, and to be able to come up with the teachings and be able to develop it. God has turned it into something good. Well.
People in situations where they haven't done anything.
God has done it?
No magic button.
No magic button.
Okay. So anything that just happened, why is it that God is not turning everybody's situation to something good?
Yeah.
Magic button? So any horrible situation you put yourself in, God will just turn it to good like that?
Why then other people commit suicide?
Yeah, why are people committing suicide? Why are people not changing? Things are not changing for people. Even you, where you are right now, why are things not changing? Things don't change until you change, my dear. Shegun Fatuma said, the truth is that not many people think in our society. Most people are just too emotional. That's so true. Akintade says, this is a very practical topic, sir. Tony Odukale said, Pastor, you are a brain box. Brain box means control model in cars. Oh, okay.
I have one.
Please.
You know what? People about thinking. Many people they think they think, but my favorite comparison is people to dogs. You know, when dogs are sleeping, they are seeing dreams. You know, they are running when they are sleeping. They are barking when they are sleeping. It means that they see something, they imagine something, they are thinking. You know, so dogs are thinking. Same that most of people are thinking, but the thinking of dog and thinking of people are different. When people think, they have to control and reflect on what they think.
No. Well, the difference is what you call thinking with dogs is chaotic. It's by itself automatic.
Yeah.
Anything that comes, it just comes and goes. But a lot of people, that's exactly the same thing they do. The people who are personality are the ones who control what they think and be able to give it direction and be able to make sure that they decide what those thinkings are and choose what thinking they do that takes them to the goal.
And generate also.
That is what makes them to be human being. But the others, human being who just have body like you or like me, but they just allow the thoughts to come up, they are not human beings. They are Homo they are what? They are biomasses.
And they think that they think just because they have this process.
Yes. Because they talk, because they say, oh, child, where did you go, my child? Come. Oh, I have a husband. Oh, I go to school. But they're just doing everything automatically. So they are not human beings yet.
Yeah.
Voila. Oluwa Pelumi Ojo say, this is so true, Dr. Sunday. I have to turn things around in my life. Dr. Sunday is an enormous philosopher. Would love to be concept of power from. Would love to learn the concept of power from you, sir. Lerishi say, things don't change until you change. That's all right. Don Pedro, please no response to, okay. Okay, did I leave anything out? Okay. Elizabeth is saying, DSA, I bless the day you were born. Thank you. Well, I think we had a good day today. That's it for now. So, congratulations to all of you that you are able to complete this series on thinking. But don't you think that that's the end of the teaching? That's all that there is to know. No. That, what I've given you so far is just about 10% of what it is for me to give to you. But that's enough for you right now. Since January. It's April now. I started since January, but it was not every day, not twice a day. If I had been doing the same thing I did since, like once a week too, it would have been like for 10 years. That was going to be for 10 years, once a week. So this one is making it to be 4 months, but I could have done it and finished it in 1 week. So thank you guys.
Thank you.
So next Saturday we'll meet, we'll continue. I'm going to probably review some books or so. But God bless. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye.